Yeshua said, "Take no thought from morning until evening, and from evening until morning, for what you shall put on." We put on airs, facades, moods, pretenses. We put on a host of personalities for every occasion. But Jesus tells us, Yeshua tells us, Sananda, seventh dimensional Sananda tells us, through his vehicle, third dimensional vehicle, Yeshua, or rather Jesus, who speaks through his fourth dimensional persona, Yeshua, tells us to just be. The Spirit, our higher self, will take care of all we need. All we need to learn is to respond to the dictates of that little voice within us, that still, small voice that the Lord spoke to Elijah. The Lord spoke to Elijah not with firestorms and earthquakes, but with a still, small voice, your source connection that speaks to you. But to do so, we must become like little children and trust our Father in all things. Trust Source, trust Mother, Father, God. But on occasion, we may tend to forget that Spirit is beyond time, beyond space, beyond the concepts of our physical universe. Jesus advocates that we live in spirit, that we live in and for the moment, in the perfect here and now, in and for the instant of the eternal now. Dearest, most esteemed, honored, and honorable viewer, notable viewer, noble viewer, we have three ranges on the spectrum of consciousness that right now in the depths of this KaliYuga are available to us. There is divine consciousness, what is called being an avatar, nothing less than that. So there is the divine consciousness, and from descending down from the divine consciousness is the human consciousness. So we have divine, human, and below human we have demonic. And there are different gradations, there are different levels. There is the higher divine, the middle, lower divine that begins to touch and merge with the higher human aspects. But as we go deeper into the depths of this KaliYuga, into the very darkest, then you start seeing the proliferation of lower kinds of humans. But still human, they're still maintaining some aspects of their humanity that has a dim recall, a dim remembrance of what it meant to be divine. But as the KaliYuga ends, the very depths, nearly everyone enters the demonic nature and loses the human qualities even. And so because of that, it requires a very radical self-transformation to escape from the demonic state, which produces suffering, destruction, death, evil, all of that we are witnessing in chaos on a physical as well as a social and political level. The human is a hybrid. The ego partakes of subconsciously the demonic nature and superconsciously can touch into the divine nature. But as you fall more and more into the demonic state, but as you fall more and more into the demonic, the divine is inaccessible. And then one is completely under the laws of karma because there is no grace, no salvation, because the demonic nature has no love. And it is not able to receive love, divine love, and that cuts one off from being able to charge the battery, to renew your source connection. That's what has to happen. The battery is dead, literally. Your divine battery is dead at the end of the KaliYuga. And you've got to charge it. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here at the Umbanda New Earth Ashram to do, is to charge you with your divine energy, your divine source connection. That is what yoga is, to yoke, to connect your lower nature to your higher divine nature, connect back to source, charge the battery, connect to the source. And the demonic nature will resist that connection because it is threatened by it. So the world is a war between gods and demons. And at the end of KaliYuga, the demons are almost all that is. They don't even believe that there's any gods left who need to be defeated. The demons are out there roaring around, and Satan's out there patrolling, making loud noises, seeing who they can further take, but they believe the battle's won. They believe the demonic nature has fully taken over. There are those who remember somewhere deep down that you used to be in a higher state in another lifetime. You have that memory. And the more you begin to meditate, the more the remembrance of that higher consciousness and the information it contains, and the love and the light and the beauty begins to dawn again from within your still small voice, as it reminds you, as it does. One is able then to make a connection to the source of the power that made you divine in the first place. It is not enough to remember being once divine. You have to connect right now in this moment with the power, with the divine once again. You have to divinate your consciousness. Bring heaven to earth. That is what the new earth is. That is what the golden age timeline is. Reconnecting to your divine source connection. But a demon cannot even entertain that thought for very long. And so we are reaching a point now at the end of KaliYuga where everything is totally polarized. As below, as above, so below, as within, so without. The way humanity has now been split between the vaxxed and the unvaxxed, and split between those who are in the divine nature and who in the demonic nature. There's no more hybrids. There's no more neutrality. Okay, I'll just listen to the angel. I'll listen to the devil. I'll make my decision. It won't work. The devil's got you the moment you give up your divine nature. You're in the grip of the demonic force. So unless there's a total surrender and a total yearning for transcending the demonized human nature with whatever margin of health, of sanity, of power, willpower one has left, one has to use it. So right now, everyone is torn between gnosis and psychosis. There isn't even any middle ground, neurosis anymore. It's a psychotic world that we live in now. That's the norm. That's what you see. Demons. So you're going to have to be in a psychotic state if you're going to fit in. If you're not in the state of total, liberated, blissful consciousness, it really is now that extreme of a polarization that is now occurring on this planet. And so the line has been drawn, and you have to decide which side of the line you are on. You can't be on the fence, sitting on the fence. There is no middle ground. There is no sitting on the fence. You can't say, I'll just muddle my way through human existence and try to enjoy things as much as possible. You'll be grabbed by the demonic force. There's an urgency of making the choice. On what side are you? Do you belong to God? Or do you belong to the demonic? Do you belong to the devil? It is my sincerest hope that you are making the choice to transcend this lower 3D fallen nature and take the path of the metahuman and rise. Namaste, namaskaram.